neighbor advertisement message sent as an Ethernet unicast message directly to host A. The ICMPv6 header includes host C's IPv6 address, which host A already knew, and the associated MAC address that host A was requesting. Host A receives the Ethernet frame, examines the IPv6 address and the MAC address in the ICMPv6 header, and adds it to its neighbor cache. Host A can now take the IPv6 packet off hold. Host A updates the destination MAC address with the address associated with the destination IPv6 address and forwards the frame and IPv6 packet to host C. Note that if the destination IPv6 address was on a different network, this same process would occur to discover the MAC address of the default gateway, which would map to R1's IPv6 link local address on this LAN.
Everyone, we are here to talk about the Cisco routers and switches that you may find in a classroom near you. Now, more specifically, we're going to focus on the Cisco 4000 series router and the Cisco 2960 series switches. With that in regard, the Cisco Netiquette curriculum is utilizing the exact 4221 model Cisco router and the 2960 Plus series switch. We're going to take a look at a couple different network devices because what you may have in your classroom, it might be different. So let's talk about the interfaces and the different expansion slots that you may find on a Cisco router near you. The first router we'll take a look at is the Cisco 4000 series router. And this router right here is actually a 4321 router, which is different than the 4221 router. But let's take a look at what is equipped on this Cisco router. We've got what are called our integrated ports. That would be our Gigabit Interface 001 and our Gigabit Interface 000. We'll take a closer look in a second, but those ports are built into the Cisco router. On the right side here, we have these NIM slots. That's Network Interface Module slots. These are expansion cards that we install on our router. This card allows us to have serial cables plugged in using serial interfaces. Now, for a closer look at this router, we can blow up this picture and say, there's a Gigabit 000 that's shared. There's a yellow line that connects two ports, and that is correct. This Gigabit Ethernet 000 interface actually allows us to either use the integrated copper network interface connection or our SFP, where SFP stands for small form factor pluggable. That is a module that allows us to plug in a fiber transceiver in this example. And even on the right side, there's a closer view here of our network interface modular slot, which is our expansion slot with those serial cables plugged in. That being serial 0, for example, on the NIM card slot. Continuing onwards, we'll take a look at a Cisco 2900 series router, and this is a big, beefy 2-rack unit router. It's 2 rack units high. You can take a look at the height of this thing. We see that we have our WIC card slots, just like we saw with a network interface module in the last router. WIC stands for WAN Interface Card. These are EH WICs, which means Enhanced High-Speed WAN Interface Card slots. I've got 2 of these WIC 2Ts, which are WAN interface cards using serial cables connected. And on the right side here, what we'll see with this 2900 series router is I've got multiple integrated Gigabit Ethernet ports. I've got Gigabit Ethernet 00 and 02. Then down below here, we've got Gigabit Ethernet 01. And again, this yellow line down here is showing that we are sharing the SFP transceiver port with the Gig 02 copper Ethernet port. When one's in use, the other can't be used. So this is allowing us right now to have a fiber connection, which can literally be an uplink to another device. Let's take a closer look at that. You'll see the Gig 00, Gig 02 with our copper Ethernet plugged in. You'll see that Gig Ethernet 01, which is that shared port for that copper, as well as that SFP transceiver. And there on the left side, we see that enhanced high-speed WAN interface card, known as the EH-WIC. And that is where we have our serial 0 and our serial 1 cable plugged in accordingly. Now, this router is the Cisco 1900. You may see this one in your topology with what you have. And with this, we have, again, our enhanced high-speed WIC slots. This has less space than what we saw in the previous router. And also, we only have 2 of our integrated gigabit Ethernet ports. For a closer look on that right side of the router, you can see the gigabit Ethernet 00, the Gig Ethernet 0/1, as well as our enhanced high-speed WAN interface card with our serial cables plugged in. Serial 0 being the bottom one, and serial 1 being the top port. So regardless of what you have inside of your area with your network equipment, we're going to try to focus on the Cisco 4000 series as well as the Cisco 2960 series being the equipment of choice. But keep in mind that classrooms may vary, and it's important that you understand the equipment that you will be utilizing. So get started, take a look at your equipment, and let's make the best of using Cisco routers and switches in the classroom.